You know what? I might, after all, use this foam paddle, especially if I do the entire area. So there's a tip for you. When you get to the job, or when you get to the hardware store, think of the different possibilities that you have for your project and make a decision. Do you think you're going to use it or not? Hey, if you don't use it, you can always take it back. You can get some other little tools to take out some of the grout or whatever, and get some other things while you're at the hardware store thinking about your project, and be ready. Okay, well, the first thing I'm going to do, I've just got a little crummy sponge here, and this area I'm just gonna kind of wipe it off a little. I'll have to dry it up. It looks a little dirty in there. Oh, that's kind of cool. There's a little shell right there. And if you ever want to do something like this to a countertop, let's say, live it up. Hey, you can put some shells in there, around there. This one even has a marble. See that marble there? It's actually kind of cool that they did that, but I would have put some more of those up in the backsplash. You know, give it some color. You could put whatever colors, favorite colors you have, whatever. Is there a right or wrong way to do stuff? If you've been watching some home channels, you know the guys there that always seem to have a budget, and they're always doing something funky, you know? And you think, that's never going to work. And then they get it all put together, and you think, wow, that looks pretty cool. And they hardly spend any money at all. Okay? I'm not saying this is a channel like that. Maybe it should be one day. But right now, I'm just trying to help you decide whether or not this type of thing, putting tile, grout down, is something that you feel comfortable with when you're patching your tile. Oh, you know, it's something else. Here's something else to think about. See, when this is wet, doesn't that look way better? When it's wet, it gives that nice glossy look. I'm going to put some sealer on this when I get done. And spruce it up a little. And since I'm going to do that, I might just end up surprising her and doing this backsplash here too. We'll see. Well, I guess I made the logical decision for this to go ahead and regrout all the way around here. You know, I think, like I said, a patch is a patch is a patch. If I were to just do this, I don't know if it's going to blend in all the way. And these lines are, you know, they're not really deep, but I think if I skim over there and put a skin of grout on there, the key is to let it dry a little bit before I try to wipe it off, so I don't wipe all of it off. Maybe I don't get all the rocks visibly as much as they are now, because you fill that up a little bit more, it's gonna get less of the top surface. But that's okay anyways, because this is all rough anyways, you know what I mean? So if I fill up some of the grout, that might be a good thing. And I think it's going to be just enough to keep this grout from coming off. Now on grout, there's sanded grout and there's unsanded grout. Well, the existing grout here was sanded, so I got sanded grout for this. Unsanded would be for really super tiny small lines, you know, but for something as wide as the gap between all these rocks, they use sanded grout. Did you know that? So where to start on the project? I've already wiped all this down with my sponge, and I've got to look all the way around the bowl here, and I've noticed some funny things. When they put this grout down, they didn't even do a good job, you know, up next to the bowl very much. I see all kinds of areas that are missing. Around here, there's missing here, missing here, missing there. Looks like maybe a rock came out right there. So I'm going to kind of pack that in a little bit using my putty knife. And this is kind of a good way to get your grout. If you're doing a small little patch, this is already pre-mixed. It's already wet. And I just have to dig a little bit out there and kind of put it down. I don't have to mix it up. I don't need extra buckets or any of that kind of stuff. So I'm going to work around this first and pack it in before I work around the rest of it. The first issue is to try to get this top off of here. And sometimes they're tricky to do. Oh, here we go. Make sure this stuff is mixed up. I did not open this container at the store, but it looks good. I'm kind of amazed how they can get that mixed up and for it not to dry in the container. You know what I mean? That looks nice. There's my grout, my pre-sanded grout, and I'm just gonna take my putty knife. I'm gonna get all of it. I'm not gonna use all this. What am I gonna do with the rest of it? I guess I can leave it in the container. And even if I had to throw it away, if I didn't want to store it, it only costs about $10 for this. This is 1 quart. They do have some smaller containers of this, and they have bags of grout you can buy for a little bit more than this, with about twice as much as this. But then you got to mix it all up. But it's easier to store it. So if you got a larger project than this, you might want to think about it.